The beauty of technology. Sometimes it's amazing and sometimes it's not. But I'm here again every Wednesday. We're doing Biz Chats. Today's a pretty special segment for me, especially because the expert guest is my sister, Vanessa Presta. She's an HR professional. So we're going to be talking about career fulfillment and career fulfillment through owning a business. So I'm going to wait for her to come here. There she is. Let's add her to this. Boom, add. The connection's better. Hopefully she can hear me. And then we'll get off to the races. This is going to be a great conversation. Hey, can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Loud and clear.
Perfect.
All right. So like I was mentioning to everyone, we do this every Wednesday, Biz Chats. Obviously, you're my sister, so you hear me talk about it probably every day on how excited I am to basically share great advice and guidance from expert guests like you and others to our audience. I think, Instagram Live is a great channel to engage with everyone that follows Biz on, and everyone that's looking for, that piece of inspiration or that piece of advice or guidance when they're looking to buy, sell, or grow a business, or career advice, or general entrepreneurship advice. So today's segment is about career fulfillment through owning a business, which is pretty exciting. And it's brought to you by HR Options, which is a cross-border HR and employment service company. So let's get right into it. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
The first question I have is, how should a business owner deal with the startup hardships that typically impact one's career?
Yes. Okay. So I think for this question here, I have two main points. First, I would say dealing with it with positivity. So having that anything is possible attitude. I truly believe once you think negatively or become frustrated in any given situation, moving forward and making progress positively becomes that much more difficult. You have to really believe in yourself, whether it's a good or bad time, that you can get through it. And what I could add there is that there's many different scenarios that could arise, especially when starting up your own business. And if you're doing something that does truly mean something to you, it's only that much easier to stay driven. So that would be my point on positivity, staying positive. Another point I could add to that would be to manage your own expectations. So a good example to remember is Jeff Bezos. He didn't create Amazon overnight, of course, and creating a business does take time. So it's a trial and error process, and you have to be aware of your own expectations, set those out for yourself, and try to succeed that way.
That's awesome. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Whether you're starting a business from scratch or whether you're even, growing an existing business, there's a lot of similarities. And I think, patience and positivity are key elements to that growth. And so I definitely love that answer. Now, from a career perspective, what's your thoughts on moonlighting? For example, you have this 9 to 5, but you're also trying to work on, that hustle. Are more employers accepting the fact that a lot of people may be moonlighting?
Yeah, I think employers nowadays are aware of this, especially because there are a lot more people looking to buy a business or start their own business. A lot of millennials have that entrepreneurial spirit inside of them just naturally. So I think companies are aware of this, and what ties into this is job burnout. So that's what I want to bring up when we mention moonlighting. It's acceptable. It's definitely in my eyes suggested. You have your 9 to 5. If you're able to have a side hustle, something that you're maybe a little bit more passionate about, why not give that a shot? Why not try? It's just a matter of knowing yourself. So being able to judge whether that is something you can handle. So not reaching a point where you will burn out. And knowing yourself. If it's something you can balance and you're scheduling it right and you can balance the two, you'll be able to do it. But so it's being able to manage that and not reaching a point where you will be frustrated and just burn out.
I agree. Because, like, for example, I moonlight, or I've moonlighted and whatnot. And I think it's balancing, knowing, self-aware as far as, can you handle that? And also understanding that both, I guess, say your 9 to 5, your side hustle, you have to respect both, right?
Yes.
And you have to ensure that you're 100% at both. And I think the beauty of moonlighting is there's a lot of things that people can learn from that side hustle that you could bring to that 9 to 5. And there's a lot of things that you can learn from that 9 to 5 that you can bring to that side hustle. So the overlap could actually create
benefits.
Some benefits. Yeah. All right. Perfect.
Absolutely.
So next question I have here, would you consider entrepreneurship to be a career choice or a lifestyle?
Awesome. So I like this question. My answer to stick with here is lifestyle. Along with many careers nowadays, they are considered lifestyles rather than just a job. I think we all don't, a lot of us don't want just a job. We want to incorporate our job with our everyday life, if it is something that we do enjoy. So here, given the fact that we're always connected by technology, we're able to work whenever, wherever, it to me is a lifestyle. And what is key from this is to ensure, similar to in the other question, that we're able to balance, that we're able to know what to prioritize in our life, on a level of importance, of course. What would you add as an entrepreneur with some of your past?
For me, I tend to agree with what you're saying. I think I would go a little bit extra and say, I definitely think it's a mindset as well, as far as, being in that zone and questioning status quo, or identifying pain points and saying, why aren't things like this? And how can I add value, or how can I add value to that person's life or the world? So I do think, it is a lifestyle, but I do think it's also a mindset or whatnot. So I like that answer. That's great. Next question here is, so according to new polls, millennials care more about fulfillment and less about money, right? So how does owning a business provide millennials with a great sense of fulfillment?
Yes. Sorry, repeat the question. I had another answer in mind.
No, it's okay. No, so basically what I was asking is, there's a new poll, and the poll basically mentions that millennials actually care less about money and more about fulfillment. So through owning a business, how can a millennial have that sense of fulfillment, right?
Yes, it's a good question. And of course, money at the end of the day is key. We all need it to survive. So you don't want to ever push that aside and ignore it and not be realistic, of course. But owning a business in an area that you do enjoy, that's what millennials are interested in. And having that flexibility to choose their work environment, that's what they're interested in. Millennials also do take risks, or like to take risks, and to take a pay cut, like I mentioned, just to have that ability to do something they do enjoy more than maybe a large or a high salary that they were given from a 9 to 5 job. I feel like majority of millennials will be open to doing that, just to have that great workplace culture and that great environment day in and day out, which strongly relates to startups. When starting a business, I mean, you're not making money right away. You might be losing money. You might not be making money at all. But if that's something you're driven about, something you care about a lot, which millennials do, that's something that will provide them with that fulfillment and joy in their job and what they do.
Yeah, I think, you're right. Because if money is a motive, I think the timeline to giving up is very quick. But if passion and purpose and fulfillment is the motive, the timeline for success is a little bit, it's longer, obviously, but they'll be allowed to overcome those obstacles of those mini failures along the way. So in order to get to money as a result. So I think money is the result, but the fulfillment and passion and purpose should be the motive. Yeah, that's great. Okay, so next question. Would you consider entrepreneurship to be a mission-driven career or a career based on passion?
So it's a tricky question because ultimately you want both, right? If I had to say here, I would definitely want to pinpoint that there's many different perspectives on this to start. To me, it would be passion. If there's not enough belief and love for what you're doing or what your business is all about, it will be difficult to succeed. Those are my beliefs. If you are driven, let's say, and you have a clear idea of what your mission is, this simply just may not be enough to succeed or find that true fulfillment that you're looking for. So there has to be a decent amount of love, a decent amount of care for your business.
Perfect. All right. Well, that's midway. So I just want to remind everyone that's coming in and out that this segment today is sponsored by HR Options. And like I mentioned before, HR Options is a cross-border HR consulting business as well as an outsourced employment business solution provider. If you want to learn more about them, go to hroptions.com. Now we'll go through the next set of questions here, and then we'll finish this off. So what are a few good questions you should ask yourself to validate a business idea?
Yeah, so in relation to fulfillment and ensuring your business idea is valid and one that you truly enjoy, I would ask basic questions like, do I wake up wanting to work on my business? Do I go to sleep at night wanting to work on my business or finish a task that I couldn't get to earlier in the day? Do I procrastinate day to day or way too much? Questions like that, to me, are examples of what we can ask ourselves and really analyze how we answer those. So let's say you're answering, let's say you do wake up wanting to work on your business or you go to sleep wanting to work on your business. That's a good sign. Of course, we want to be realistic. There's times where we'll be tired. There's bad days that will occur. But like anything in life, there should be more good times than bad, and more good feelings than bad. And you should be happier than sad in your career, not only in life on the side, but in your career as well, with your job, with what you do in business. There should be those better days and those better times.
Well, the reality is you're at your job or your workplace, just as much as, your family, and it's becoming very integrated now. So I agree. You need to be happy. You need to own those feelings. Yeah, absolutely.
And to add on that, to add on one more point there, the question there about do I procrastinate? If that answer there is yes, I mean, that could show a huge sign as well of possibly lack of interest. Maybe you aren't too driven to get that done. Maybe you aren't too interested in that.
Like I'm gonna push this off to tonight. Then tonight comes and I'm gonna push this off to tomorrow. Yes. Sort of like my diet and my fitness goals. I'm gonna wait until the new year. And then the new year comes, I'm gonna wait till summer because I'm gonna, start running in the summer. Right? It's just not a priority, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Perfect.
Makes sense. All right, next question here. While owning a business, how do you know if you're on the right track for success and fulfillment?
Yes.
Does it kind of coincide with what we were just chatting about now? Those little gut checks.
I would say so. Yep. All tying into happiness. But then taking that realistic approach and knowing that you won't be happy every day, but you can still feel fulfilled with your job. So it's checking that your happiness is number one and that's occurring. We're not perfect. Like I said, there's bad times. And success to everyone, because if we're trying to measure if we're on the right track for success to everyone in itself is measured differently. So what success is to you might not be what success is to someone else. if you're bringing value to others or a company, making a difference, and if you're fulfilled and satisfied day in and day out with what you do, you're on the right track. If you're constantly, let's say, complaining about your job, it's hard to get up in the morning, you aren't excited about what you're about to accomplish for the day, maybe you're not on the right track. Maybe that is a sign for change. Maybe you should start looking into a different career or maybe a different workplace. So it's being able to identify how you feel.
Yeah, absolutely. Like for me, I think like starting Biz on this main goal of, we're a marketplace where we want to enable someone to love what they do, whether they're retiring or starting a new chapter in life and need to sell that business, or whether they're sick of their current job or they're looking to jump into being their own boss or whatnot. We want to provide them with the opportunity to buy a business. So the overall, passion and purpose and fulfillment for, myself and the team is, we want to enable people to love what they do, right? But I think also it's patience, because over time, what happens is you get these little peaks of visualizing your fulfillment.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is, and I hope it makes sense, is like, for example, we were a supporting partner of a big expo yesterday. And obviously the core of what we do at BizOn is we connect buyers and sellers. But what we also do, and what's very important to us, is we help business owners grow that business that they just acquired. So we promote all sorts of events and digital segments like this and content to inspire and provide advice and guidance for these business owners. And yesterday was one of those events that we promoted to our audience. And I was at a session, and a gentleman raised his hand and asked a question to a panel and said, "Hey, listen, I just bought a business and I'm looking for ways that, to scale and accelerate the growth." I'm like, "Whoa, just bought a business?" We basically told our audience about this expo. I wonder if, he's a BizOn user.
Yeah.
I went up to him and I asked, "Hey, where'd you find that business?" And he said BizOn. And that peaked, and the visualization of, oh my God, like that's why I'm here.
Yes.
Right? That's why I'm here. And it just, quickly inspired me. But I think people need to be patient and give themselves time to, peak up or find those peaks of fulfillment, right? But there should always be that, big overall, like, passion, purpose, fulfillment statement, right?
Yes.
Because that'll never change.
Yeah, you have to be able to analyze properly. And that situation you just described is a clear sign to you that, I'm on the right track. What I felt, I'm sure the satisfaction you got from seeing that person there and realizing that, okay, I accomplished that today.
Big time. It was like I just had like a Red Bull.
Yeah. Good.
I had wings. I was flying. All right, next question here. So if you want to own your own business to find career fulfillment, but you don't know where to start, what are some first steps to take?
Okay. So I'll start with a funny comment here. Go to mybizon.com.
Oh, well, thank you for that plug.
And browse for a business you're most interested in, of course. Otherwise, seriously speaking, we can't always be searching too hard. Business ideas come to you along your journey, of course, right? So I think it's, like you said, patience while you're meeting different people, while you're going out and networking with different people. Ideas might come to your mind. We need to try different things. We don't always, we can't close our doors. We need to try different things. We need to meet different people. And that's a way to start. Advice would be here to stay true to who you are, to stay true to the career you enjoy most, which should be most relatable to who you are. And that's how you can get started. And I'm sure this is something that you would say as my brother. I know your mindset there, but it's to just start. Just start. Just go for it and just start right away. If you have an idea, you're excited about something, you don't know where to start exactly, it's a learning progress. So you just start, you figure it out. And of course you want to still make educated decisions, speak to mentors, make sure you're gonna start successfully, and then just give it your all and get started.
Perfect. I like that. All right, next question here, and we're almost done. Is there ever a final moment of true career success, fulfillment, and accomplishment? And I think this is a great question because I feel like we're in a society where we can almost never be satisfied. Like, it's a little crazy, right? So if the goal is to keep improving ourselves, our business, and in some cases, you know, to get that better car or bigger house or, you know, more expensive clothing, you know, how does that work?
Yeah, it's true. We're never satisfied, which isn't, let's say, a bad thing. A lot of us want to always improve, and do better and be better. There's definitely moments along the way where you can pinpoint an example of when you made a difference in someone's life. It doesn't have to be anything massive. But if you can provide value to someone else, that's always a good thing. So that's always a good starting point. You're able to feel successful and fulfilled in your career. However, improving is a must. So there may not be an exact point or final point where you're like, okay, wow, now I'm finally fulfilled in my career. It's more of a journey. So it's an ongoing process. It takes time, and to succeed in a career, you have to continuously work on it, right? It's a journey. That could be the best answer.
All right, thanks. Last question here, Vanessa. During career changes and or transitions from one business idea to the next, is taking time to explore acceptable and productive, or is it just a waste of time?
I like this question. Exploring to me is definitely acceptable. It helps us learn, not only
and Vanessa, when you say explore, what's your definition of explore?
Yes, so explore could encompass a variety of things. Let's say traveling. And I was going to get into travel as a huge one. Traveling or meeting people, going to networking events, that's exploring. Anything where you're kind of you're stepping out of your comfort zone. You're meeting people you don't know. You're visiting places you haven't seen. Just taking that time to maybe take a break, although it's not a break if it's still maybe related to your business or networking for yourself. But taking a break and stepping outside of your comfort zone and exploring the world, that maybe exploring something you haven't been comfortable with before. That's what I would mean by explore. If I would say it's not a waste of time, making the time count is what matters. So if you're not going to be productive while you're exploring, if you're kind of just going to explore without being productive, then maybe that will be a waste of time. So I think it's managing how you explore, when you explore, how much you explore. And then, of course, that could help you. Like I said, traveling and meeting people.
Nice. Yeah, I think having those proper lenses on while you're exploring, you know, making sure it's an effective exploration makes sense, right? You don't want to waste time. You want to be productive. It actually reminds me of a story. I remember I met with Harry Rosen, and I asked him, you know, how he identifies, you know, trends in the fashion industry and whatnot. And he's an older gentleman, but I think it's true. I think it's still very true because you've admitted that it's true as well. And he said, I fly to New York and I walk.
Yep.
Right? And I was like, wow. Okay. and he just consumes, you know, the environment and looks around and identifies, because he has those constant lens on. Yeah. You know, just like me, when I went to Japan, I explored, and all of a sudden, you know, I was looking at things and I was like, I think that would be cool in Toronto, or I think this would work here, or I think that person would appreciate that. Like, it's having those proper lenses on, right?
Yeah.
And constantly questioning.
Yeah. And sometimes just being inspired. Something could just inspire you that way that you haven't seen before.
That's awesome. Well, Vanessa, this was great. I hope you enjoyed it. I am going to end it off the way I always end it. Rapid fire question. 3 questions coming at you. I need to know them right away. No hesitation. 1, what was the last song you listened to on repeat?
Ooh.
Let's go.
Perfect. Ed Sheeran.
Okay. What was the last movie you watched?
The Elf. Or Elf.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Tell me about it, right? Okay. And what was the last book you read?
The last book I read. Good question. I read magazines, a lot of magazines. The last book I read.
Or magazine, or whatnot. You probably read a lot of articles online, right?
I read articles online. I read magazines. HR magazine. There you go.
All right.
I'm reading the HR magazines daily.
All right, perfect. Okay, well, thanks everyone for listening in. Thanks for engaging. Once again, thank you, Vanessa. This was great. I love the insight, and especially as my little sister, it's awesome to see you growing up and owning, the HR world. I think you're going to do a great job, with talent acquisitions and just making a better workplace.
Awesome.
And once again, we want to thank HR Options for making this all come together. This was perfect. Once again, check out hroptions.com if you need any HR consulting work or outsourced employment solutions. And once again, this segment is recorded. It will be uploaded to our YouTube channel. So we'll probably upload that by next week. So make sure you comment, share, like it, and whatnot. And then we will be back again next Wednesday for another Biz Chats from 12 to 1 with another expert guest giving you awesome business advice and guidance.
I can't wait to see it.
And my little plug, if you're interested in buying or selling a business or franchise, go to mybizon.com. Thank you, everyone. Have a great week. And thank you, Vanessa.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.